Tick tock, tick tock. One day the clock will strike 13 and I will be liberated forever, thought Ranima, as the clock struck 12 and she poured herself another generous peg from the vodka bottle. Recently she had changed from gin to vodka. The latter seemed a little more suited to her mid-morning depression. The bottle was half empty, but it would take her through to the late afternoon when her ancient manservant Bahadur would arrive with another bottle and some vegetables for the evening meal. She did not bother with breakfast or lunch, and yet she was fat, 50, and oh, so forlorn. Living alone on the 7th floor of a new apartment building, Ranipur's only skyscraper had only emphasized Ranima's loneliness and isolation. Friends had drifted away over the years. Her selfish nature and acerbic tongue had destroyed many relationships. There were no children, for marriage had passed her by. Occasionally a nephew or cousin turned up, hoping for a loan, but going away disappointed. Ranima had nothing to live for, and almost every day, after the third vodka, she contemplated suicide. If only that clock would strike 13, time for her would stop, and she would take that fatal leap into oblivion. Because it had to be a leap, something dramatic, something final. No sleeping tablets for her, no overdose of Alprax, no hyoscine in her vodka, and she was far too clumsy to try slitting her own wrists. She'd make a mess of it, and Bahadur would find her bleeding on the carpet and run for a doctor. There was an old shotgun in the bottom drawer of a cupboard and a case full of cartridges. But the gun hadn't been used for years, and the cartridges looked damp and moldy, of no use except to frighten off an intruder. No, there was only one thing to do: leap off her 7th floor balcony, stay airborne for a few seconds, and then oblivion. Why wait for that clock to strike 13? Time would never stop, not for her, not for all those thousands below, hurrying about in a heat of hope, striving to find some meaning in their lives, some sustenance for their hordes of children, some happy, some miserable, but alive. She opened the door to her balcony and stood there, unsteady, supporting herself against the low railing. Down below on the busy street, cars, scooters, cyclists, pedestrians went about their business, unaware of the woman looking down upon them from her balcony. Once the queen of Ranipur, she had always looked down upon them. Now her rule extended no further than her apartment, and the world went by unheeding. Tick tock, tick tock. Why keep listening to that wretched clock? Time must have a stop. Walking along the pavement with a jaunty air, hat at an angle, humming an old tune, came Colonel Jolly. Recently retired, he was on his way to the bank to collect his pension, and he enjoyed walking into town, nodding or waving to acquaintances, stopping occasionally to buy a paper or an ice cream, for he was still a boy as far as ice creams went. He was enjoying his retirement. His sons were settled abroad. His wife was at home, baking a cake for his evening tea. She was in love with life, and he hadn't a care in the world. As he passed below the tall apartment building, something came between him and the sun, blocking out his vision. He had no idea what it was that struck him, bringing about a total eclipse. One moment he was striding along at peace with the world, the next he was flat on the pavement, buried beneath a mountain of flesh that had struck him like a comet. Both the colonel and Ranima were rushed to the nearest hospital. The colonel's neck and spine had been shattered, and he died without recovering consciousness. Ranima took some time to recover, but thanks to her fall, having been cushioned by the poor colonel, recover she did, retiring to a farmhouse on the outskirts of the town. Colonel Jolly, lover of life, had lost his to a cruel blow of fate. Ranima, who hated living, survived into a grumpy old age. She is still waiting for the clock to strike 13.